Is our perception of reality accurate? And if so, do we have free will within that reality? And if we do have free will, are our decisions our own, or are they manipulated and manufactured through the world around us? In the Mouth of Madness opened to the printing press, manufacturing a book that shares the title of the movie we are currently watching, is creating the story for which we are about to see, manufacturing our perceived reality. John Trent is an insurance investigator who has made a career out of debunking falsehoods in people's stories. We open on him being institutionalized as he recounts what led to his diagnosed insanity. He states that he was contracted to locate a famous horror novelist by the name of Sutter Kane, a nod to the real-world Stephen King. King is also compared to Kane within the movie, cementing that In the Mouth of Madness exists in the context of our own reality. Sutter Kane has become a cultural icon and uses horror as a medium to manipulate the truths of people's realities. He's the new Church of Truth, propagated an artificial fear constructed from our own human fragilities. John is seen walking down the same alleyway on numerous occasions. Yet unlike our defined understanding of the word insanity, the outcome is different every time. He's a sane man experiencing an insane event. One of the walls in the alley gradually spells out, "I can see," words echoed by a young man who confronts him in a bookstore. John's understanding of reality begins to be shaken, and the more he sees the true nature of his existence, the more his insight into the horrors around him also evolves. He is beginning to witness the undercurrent of fear that is governing his world. He is able to locate Sutter Kane in a way that seems implausible, almost as though someone is moving his hand for him. Is John in control, or does he just experience the illusion of it? Kane is believed to be living in a non-existent city named Hobbs End, yet it is tangible and exists upon John's arrival. Reality is whatever is believed, and sanity and insanity are becoming interchangeable. John and his companion Styles pull into Hobbs End, and it is completely void of people. They appear to be two individuals moving within the framework of paintings. They are merely ideas floating on a landscape. They arrive at Pickman Hotel and are placed in room number 9, the same room number as the asylum cell John is currently being held in. His free will and control had been removed from him long before being institutionalized. Styles understands the reality of the world around her, even though she has never experienced it, and just as John and Styles have been moving parts of their respective paintings, so too do the people within the painting that adorns the wall of the hotel move. John asks if the hotel owner painted the picture, and she proclaims that she did not, even though she had. She painted the picture, but she is not responsible for how it turned out. She is not in control of her own actions, but has merely been instructed to do so. And as the movie progresses, the painting begins to warp into a grotesque caricature of itself that parallels the morbid horrors John has bore witness to. The townspeople of Hobbs End appear to simply be playing a role within the grand story that Kane is writing, but John refuses to accept that he is existing in a fake reality, and refers to a desk as being real, as to him it is a tangible item. But the desk exists as an artificial construct. Its existence is no more real than the movie we are watching. It is a prop that exists to fuel his perceived reality. The townspeople protest in fear against Kane, but is it their honest emotional reaction to him, or simply the way they have been written? The more knowledgeable the townspeople become of their lack of free will, the more they begin to transition into violent creatures consumed by their own fears. They have become the unknown horrors they were so afraid of. First, the children of the town begin to turn, as their realities are easier to shape and manipulate, and then it begins to turn the adults into monstrous perversions of themselves. Even Kane is not in control of his choices, as he is guided by the old ones, indescribable entities whose purpose seems only to be to erode the foundation of human existence. Styles also begins to lose her sanity after reading the work of Sutter Kane. Attempts to kiss John as it's good for the book, and it's what the readers want. She's accepted her role within the universe and has surrendered her free will. She has left John to be the only sane man in an otherwise insane world, as the insane has become the majority, and his sanity in the questioning of the new normal now feels like the insane. John begins to question his own existence, stating that he is not a piece of fiction and that no one pulls the strings. But Sutter Kane destroys these notions with 5 simple words. "My favorite color is blue," as he changes the hue of John's world to a pale blue. Kane has torn the fabric of John's existence and opened the mouth of madness for him to stare into. So John is left to stare into the carrion black pit and accept his role within the universe. His world exists within the passages the pages Kane writes. John walks once again past the alleyway, but this time pulls back a poster to reveal a caricature of himself upon a movie poster for In the Mouth of Madness, directed by John Carpenter. The reality John lives in is once again shown to be the same as our own. Do we as viewers also exist within a false reality? And if so, who is pulling our strings? John is left to be an irrational and insane man within an otherwise sane world, left to watch his existence unfold in front of him as a gleeful spectator, embracing his own insanity, as the credits roll past us in a pale blue hue. Sutter Kane states that his success comes from pushing the boundaries of fear that religion is unable to do, that religion does not understand the true nature of creation, and thus is unable to make a false reality real, but that fear is able to do just that. In our reality, we have had wars initiated on false grounds, whether that be of the spread of communism, weapons of mass destruction that never existed, or rampant and unjust Islamophobia. These are falsehoods used to create a shared hysteria within our culture, a culture that fears our very way of being eroded away. We are vessels for information, and the information we are receiving is that we as a nation must act sternly and with force, as our children are not safe, and our freedom is at risk of being taken from us. We are fighting invisible threats propagated by a falsely generated fear, but people will fight and die in order to protect their understanding of the reality that is being scripted for them. Gone are the days of John Carpenter's They Live, as we are no longer being quietly asked to obey, but instead are being forced through fear to be submissive, to accept the falsehoods of our shared existence, to give up our free will in order to embrace and support the manufactured consent of media, to buy into an Islamic threat, or the urgency to build a wall to stop the marginalized people from attempting to claim the same rights we are fighting to uphold for ourselves. We must understand that we are the biggest threat to our own safety, whether that be through suicide, drug overdoses, motor vehicle fatalities, smoking and secondhand smoke inhalation, or simply by buying into the diegetic narrative that we are all in danger. In contrast, 8 Americans died worldwide last year from terror-related events, while 29 died from being struck by lightning. Our freedoms are not being taken by a global threat, but rather through a manufactured unknown that has systemically grown within our own culture. Like a parasitic blood that streams through our nervous systems, we are the manufacturers of our own fear. So what's left for us to do but watch from a distance and laugh at our own willingness to give up on our freedoms in order to fight for falsehoods and embrace the political monolith of our own creation? I only have one thing left to ask. Do you read Sutter Kane?